Hello, this is Julie Fast. You can find out more about my work at bipolarhappens.com, juliefast.com, and my blog from bipolarhappens.com. I also work as a blogger and video blogger for BP Magazine at bphope.com. I'm putting this at the beginning of the video because I always forget to put it at the end. I'm also the author of Loving Someone with Bipolar Disorder, Take Charge of Bipolar Disorder, and Get It Done When You're Depressed. And my main treatment plan, called the Health Cards Treatment Plan for Bipolar Disorder, is only available on my website at bipolarhappens.com. Today I'm talking about the effects of bipolar disorder mood swings on our looks. It's not superficial. How we look matters. When we look in the mirror, mania changes how we see ourselves, depression changes how we see ourselves, but I'm actually talking about the physical changes that can happen as we go through the stress of mood swings. Mood swings phenomenally change the chemical balance of our bodies, so it makes sense that this would happen as well. I'm 52 years old and I accept the aging process. I'm doing it as gracefully as I possibly can because I've had a long life, 52 years. I never expected to make it past 50, but I did. So my goal now is to make it to 100 in a healthy way. This is hard when you have bipolar disorder. The physical effects of bipolar disorder aren't talked about very much. For example, I always say that once you go through a manic episode, one day of full-blown mania is the equivalent of running a 26-mile marathon. Ask anyone who's been in the hospital a long time for mania, especially if there's psychosis, and they're darn tired. So we need to study more about the effect of bipolar disorder on adrenal function, as well as the fight or flight process that so many of us experience when someone we love is in a crisis. So this video is also for changes that happen to people who love someone with bipolar disorder. I'm a coach for parents and partners of people with bipolar disorder. I don't work directly with people with the illness. So I hear what parents, partners, siblings, grandparents, therapists, etc. go through when somebody they love has a significant mood swing. For example, how does my mom handle the fact that since moving back, I was living in France for 5 months, since moving back to Portland, Oregon for a few months, I've been living with mood swings every single day. I'm usually very careful with travel. I have videos on how to travel successfully. And I can tell you, if you watch those videos, they're at bphope.com, you will see a program that works. If I travel and I allow myself enough time to deal with mood swing that are possible because of travel, for example, an 8-hour time difference. If I let myself live a regular life before I travel, I will get sick when I get there and I'll get sick when I come home. If I'm willing to make some significant changes in order to prepare for the time change, I'm able to go to Europe, for example, from the United States with hardly any mood swings. Well, this time on the way back, I only had a week to prepare because it was a quick decision. I either was going to stay in France for a longer time or come back to finish 2 book projects. I chose to come back to finish 2 book projects. I wasn't able to do the changes that I usually do when I travel, and the result was a month of mood swings. I dealt with 3 solid weeks of depression, and now I'm dealing with some dysphoric interchanging with euphoric mania. It's not fun. My interest today is to have you look at my face. Of course, I'm 52, and you can see the changes that are happening in my face if you look at my other videos. Not everybody lives their life on screen like I do, so I have videos online that are from 14 years ago, and believe me, you can see a difference. But today, what I want to talk about is if you look at my eyes, because normally people wear makeup when they're in videos, they have lipstick on, etc. I want you to look at my eyes. These bags that are under my eyes are something that happened when I'm under stress. I have 2 mouth ulcers that are not cold sores. I thought they were, but they're stress ulcers that you might see on the inside of my lip. I don't have any jewelry on. I'm a little bit cold today, so I probably don't even need this on, but it's raining outside. But this is what my face looks like when I'm not doing as well. One thing we can do is look at changes of our face to tell us how we're living our lives. I don't mean this as a judgment by any means possible. I've learned not to judge myself too much. I get very embarrassed about my mania. I'm very sad about my suicidal episodes, but I plan to go forward in life. But I also know now that I've made it past age 50, which I wasn't really sure I would because I used to have so much suicidal depression, I'm very happy that I'm getting older. It's a privilege to get older in our country. I embrace it, but it doesn't mean I have to have bags under my eyes and a droopy chin and be 50 pounds overweight. Something all of those I'm dealing with right now. I work as a professional speaker, so getting up on stage while I'm overweight, while I look tired, is something that I think about. I believe that I am a physical representation outwardly of what I go through inwardly. So the 50 pounds I gained after a bicycle accident and medications, I have a lot of weight gain from medication, is something that I have to carry around with me every day. My way of dealing with this is not eating sugar, and I did quite well with that when I was in France, but when I came back to the States, unsurprisingly, my food issues came back and I started eating sugar again. I now am working on that because I was losing weight and I was feeling healthier. Another thing is sleep. Sleep is directly, absolutely shown in our face. I've had a lot of trouble sleeping lately, and that leads to a lot of the changes I see when I look in the mirror. I don't want to be someone who looks in the mirror and says, look at that line, look at this, that's awful. Those are normal. These wrinkles that are on my forehead, the wrinkles that are here, and the things that I see on my face, darn it, I'm going to accept them. But I don't have to look stressed and tired. Getting enough sleep, eating better, which for every single person is different, by the way. All we know is we need to eat in a way that helps us. Somebody can tell you what diet worked for them, but unless it works for you, it doesn't make much sense. You sort of have to find what works. Trigger management is everything to me. I found out recently that I'm going to travel to England again because I'm speaking at Oxford University. I'll certainly do videos while I'm there and I'll post them. In order for me to handle an 8-hour time change again, I had to make a decision of whether I'm going to have a social life while I'm here in Portland or I'm going to work and have a successful trip to England. I choose work and England. This means going to bed earlier every day until I get there so that I will be closer to the England time schedule so that I can peak when I give my talk at Oxford University. Then, while there, I start changing back almost immediately so that when I come back to Portland, I don't get sick. This means no karaoke. This means being by myself a lot more than I want to. This means inner contemplation. It means dealing with my eating and doing things differently. For those of us with extremely severe bipolar disorder, chronic bipolar disorder, those of us who write books about it, have blogs, and tend to be advocates, we deal with a lot of symptoms. That's why we disappear a lot. So you'll see us, massively doing things. It doesn't mean we're manic. It usually means we're stable. And then we disappear for a while and then we come back. That's pretty common in the bipolar disorder world. That's because we get sick, we take care of ourselves, and we come back on the market. This certainly happens to me. Today I want to show you what it's like when I'm not doing well. It's so easy for me to do videos. Oh, things great, here's what you can do. But my goal is always to show people the reality of this illness. Here's my reality. I have severe bipolar disorder. It affects me every minute of the day. I don't get a lot of relief, but I'm not depressed like I used to be. I'm on the cusp of it, but my depression is so much better, and that's because of a medication that works well for me. When my mania came back, I had to take lithium. I use lithium orotate, which is an over-the-counter supplement that I highly recommend. And that takes care of my mania, but it makes me very, very tired. But not the kind of tired where I get 8 hours of sleep. It's more like just a tired all day long, and I still have trouble sleeping. It makes my insides turn to liquid, and it gives me apathy. But it gets rid of the mania. I'm somebody who can take lithium off and on. So that's one thing that I'm very lucky about, that I can use lithium orotate as needed. Other medications, it's not like that, of course. You can't just go on and off them. So always talk with your healthcare professional about this. And I actually mean that literally. I'm not saying do what I do and protecting myself by saying talk to your healthcare professional. I mean actually talk to your healthcare professional about anything you hear me say. I fully believe that those of us with bipolar disorder can live exciting, dynamic lives, but believe me, there is sacrifice that comes with that. I have friends who have very high up positions in big companies. They travel the world, they live on 2 continents, and they don't get sick. I wish that were me, it's not. 50% of my life is spent managing bipolar disorder, but that means that the other 50%, where I used to be sick all the time, I'm now quite healthy. I can travel the world and speak. I can live where I want to live, and I can have relationships that are strong. You can hear about how I do this by reading Take Charge of Bipolar Disorder or looking at my health cards. If you're a partner of someone with bipolar disorder, loving someone with bipolar disorder is your best bet. Family members, I think you'd like Take Charge. And for anyone who wants to intensely manage bipolar disorder, that's where you really, really get the life you want. I recommend my health cards. My nose is itching so badly right now, I'm going to scratch it. I have a lot of itching when I take lithium. It's very interesting. It affects my nose, makes my eyes dry. But it's better than letting mania take over my life. Medications are truly a two-way street. Nobody likes medications. Come on, they give us side effects. They do some awful things to us. They make us gain weight. But I know that taking that lithium, for example, means that I can sleep again and that I won't do stupid things like I used to with my mania. I have a few weeks to prepare for my trip to Oxford, and I'm excited about that. I'm speaking about student mental health. If I'd had something like this in 1982 when I got manic in college and left school to go live with my first boyfriend in Vancouver, Canada, the world would certainly never have seen all my books because I would have been stable. We all have a path in life. I hope you can find yours. Managing bipolar disorder is what came first for me, and then my path started to appear. When my bipolar disorder mood swings were raging, I was not able to find my path. Once I learned to manage this illness, once I learned to manage my relationships, and once I was able to find a career that I could do part-time and still support myself, it's hard. Money is always an issue for people with bipolar disorder who have a lot of mood swings. Unless we have someone to help us, we have to learn to manage this illness pretty darn well in order to have a career. But it is possible, I'm proof. So here I am today with bags under my eyes, no lipstick, a few cold sores, out of stress, on lithium, and trying to sleep. That's the reality of this illness. We can have great lives. We can move forward. You can find more of my work at bipolarhappens.com, juliefast.com, and of course, Julie A. Fast on Facebook, which is where I have the most dynamic conversations with this wonderful world of people with bipolar disorder. Thank you.